Gunmen kill policeman, vigilante in Sokoto. 10 maritime workers abducted on Bonny Port Harcourt waterway. Court sends end bad governance protesters to Kuje, Suleja prisons. And on the foreign scene, Israeli court holds general strike aimed at forcing hostage deal. Hello, welcome to News Updates on Trust Television. My name is Lilian Ogazi. And now to the news. Gunmen have reportedly killed one policeman and a vigilante during patrol in Sokoto State. It was learned that the incident occurred around 3 a.m. on Monday at Kwanan Milgoma along Sokoto Bodinga Road. Although the spokesman of the Sokoto Police Command could not be reached at the time of filing this report, a senior police officer who spoke on condition of anonymity confirmed the attack. Now, according to him, the operatives were caught unaware by the gunmen who came in a white Hilux. He added that the bodies of the deceased were deposited at the mortuary of Usman Dan Fodio University Teaching Hospital. Meanwhile, gunmen suspected to be Boko Haram insurgents looted and set ablaze shops and houses in Mafa village in Tamuwa local government area of Yobe State. The Yobe State Police Command spokesman DSP Dongos Abdul Karim made this known in Damaturu on Monday. He said there are yet to ascertain the number of lives lost in the incident, which occurred at about 4 p.m. on Sunday in a remote village. Eyewitnesses said the terrorists armed with rifles and RPGs attacked Mafa ward on more than 50 motorcycles and set ablaze many shops and houses. The Nigerian Air Force Special Forces have eliminated a known terrorist kingpin, Mustafa Abdullahi, and 5 members of his group in the Igabi local government area of Kaduna State. The Director of Public Relations and Information, NAF Air Vice Marshal Edward Gabwet, in a statement on Sunday, said the Special Forces were deployed from the 413 Force Protection Group. Gabwet said the deployments followed an intelligence report received on August 31st that the terrorist kingpin and his group were sighted near Sabongida Forest along Sabonbirin Road. He said their mission was likely intent to kidnap, harm, or kill innocent civilians. Now, according to him, after making contact with the terrorists who were on motorcycles, the terrorists immediately opened fire on sighting the special forces, but were met with superior firepower by the troops. The troops eliminated all the terrorists and recovered 5 Dane guns, a locally fabricated submachine gun and live ammunition, as well as assorted charms, lighters, SIM cards, and cell phone cases. The Military High Command has debunked claims of the abduction of 150 persons by terrorists in Gobio in Sokoto State. A statement signed by the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, said the incident of mass killing and burial depicted by terrorists in a trending video happened in a nearby African country and not Nigeria. General Buba in the statement also explained that on the 29th of August 2024, troops of Operation Hardin Daji deployed at Fort Zurumi in Zurumi, local government area of Zamfara State, embarked on fighting patrol to dislodge terror gatherings at Kwashaba village, and during the fight, while attempting to outflank the terrorists, quantity 2 of troops' maps got bogged down due to the swampy terrain occasioned by the rains. The statement added that the troops dismounted and demobilized the maps when the efforts to backload them were futile. The sad demobilization of the maps by troops, he said, was to prevent it from being useful to the terrorists after abandonment. He urged Nigerians to be circumspect of the antics of the terrorists to propagate misinformation, disinformation, and fake news as part of their war propaganda efforts. At least 10 maritime travelers have been reportedly abducted by sea pirates along the Bonny Port Harcourt waterways. Though details are still sketchy, reports say the incident, which occurred on Monday morning, is believed to involve 10 persons traveling between Bonny and Port Harcourt. The district chairman, Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, River State District, Israel Pebble, who confirmed the incident, was quoted as saying, "It is not a rumor, it is real." When contacted, the police public relations officer who confirmed the incident said the Commissioner of Police, Olatunji Disu, had mandated the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operations, DCP Olugbenga Adepoju, and the DPOs in that area to make sure the victims regain their freedom as soon as possible. The Nigerian Army 6th Division said its troops, in conjunction with other security agencies, have destroyed about 115 illegal refining sites, 66 boats, while 22 suspects were arrested in Rivers and Bayelsa states. The Army also said a total of 27 stolen pipes, 4 pumping machines were recovered, while 5 illegal connections used in siphoning crude oil by the suspects were clamped, with over 170,000 stolen products confiscated, in addition to other ancillary items deactivated. The Acting Deputy Director, 6th Division Army Public Relations, Lieutenant Colonel Jonah Danjuma, disclosed this in a statement issued in Port Harcourt on Sunday. Danjuma said in several operations conducted simultaneously last week, troops effectively denied criminal elements and economic saboteurs freedom of action, with tremendous success recorded. Meanwhile, the General Officer commanding 6th Division Nigerian Army, Major General Jamal Abdul Salam, urged troops to ensure zero tolerance for illegal artisanal refinery activities and associated crimes in the Niger Delta region. Now, moving on to legal matters, the Federal High Court has fixed September 11th for the trial and ruling on bail application for the End Bad Governance protesters who were arraigned in Abuja on Monday. The 10 persons arraigned before Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court were Michael Adaramoye, also known as Lenin, Adeyemi Abayomi, Suleiman Yakubu, Opaoluwa Simon, and Angel Innocent. Others were Buhari Lawal, Musiu Sadiq, Bashir Bello, Nuruddin Kamis, and Abdul Salam Zubairu. In the 6 counts filed by the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetukun, the federal government also named a British citizen, Andrew Wine, aka Andrew Povich, a defendant. The IG specifically accused the protesters of acting in concert and conspiring with the intention to destabilize the country to commit a felony. Egbetukun said the offense was contrary to Section 9(5) and punishable under Section 9(7) of the Penal Code. The protesters are being tried for alleged treason, inciting mutiny, and intent to destabilize Nigeria. Ahead of the off-cycle governorship election scheduled to hold on the 21st of September 2024 in Edo State, the PDP Youth Alliance for Good Governance has frowned against the alarming and escalating harassment of some PDP chieftains and warned against any attempt to subvert the will of the people in Edo State. The youth call on the president to take swift and decisive action to put an end to this undemocratic behavior. The group also reminded INEC and the police that the right to freedom of expression, association, and assembly is enshrined in the Nigerian Constitution and must be upheld at all costs.
Recent reports have unveiled a sinister plot aimed at undermining the opposition in Edo State through a series of mass arrests and arbitrary detentions. We have received credible information that the Nigerian police, under pressure from certain quarters, is being weaponized to target and intimidate key opposition figures. Already, individuals like Mr. Amos Tom and Kingsley Osahon have been unjustly detained, while others, including Odion Olaye, Chief Francis Inebiki, Chief Olukaga, Festus Osaibovo, and Kelly Inedegbo, are reportedly on the brink of similar fate. This wave of political repression is not only a gross violation of the rights of these individuals, but also a blatant attempt to silence dissent and instill fear among the electorates. We categorically reject these tactics and demand an immediate cessation of all acts of intimidation and harassment. We call upon President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to take swift and decisive action to put an end to this undemocratic behavior. The planned mass arrest and detention, if allowed to proceed, will plunge Edo State into crisis of confidence in the electoral process. We demand that those already detained be immediately released or charged with recognizable offenses in line with the law of the land. We call on the resilient and courageous people of Edo State to stand firm in the face of these challenges. Your vote is your choice, and you must not allow anyone to silence it.
Residents of Nangere and Jakusko local government areas are urgently pleading with the federal government to intervene after a devastating flood swept through their communities, destroying farmlands, ruining crops, and toppling houses. Reports indicate that the floods have claimed over 170,000 lives and displaced thousands, leaving the affected areas in dire need of assistance. Trust TV's Beatrice Security visited these ravaged communities and provides a first-hand account of the crisis.
In Lamba village of Nangere community, farmlands have turned into fields of water and houses are submerged. The devastating flood has forced locals to evacuate, losing lives, properties, and livestock. The displaced residents were given temporary shelter at a primary school and government quarters, but for them, once the water dries up, there is no home to return to. It happened at night. The water entered our houses. We were lucky we didn't drown. Right before our eyes, our house went down into the water. The flood killed a young girl. There was no choice. We had to leave. We lost everything. We are begging the government to help us because we don't have a place to stay after the flood. We lost everything, including our farms. It means no food for us. Nangere community is linked to other local councils like Jakusko, Bade, Karasua, and Gashua. The federal road that connects this part of Yobe State has collapsed, affecting economic and agricultural activities.
Both agricultural produce in the whole of this state, I think it's one of the most recognized community in terms of production of both animals, dairy, and crop production. All these vegetables, tomatoes, and the rest, they used to produce them here, and you can see. Yes, and also the fishing activities. It's a very economic community in the whole state, so we are calling on government to urgently intervene.
The communities revealed that it's been 6 years they have experienced such disaster, and with the waters back with no anticipation, it could be difficult to recover what the flood took away from them. Beatrice Security, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
This is news update coming to you from Trust Television. Coming up, we'll be looking at how Just Traders respond to the federal government directive on market price cuts. This and more when we return. Just stay. You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is news updates coming to you from Trust Television. Let's take a look at our headline stories again. Gunmen kill policeman, vigilante in Sokoto. 10 maritime workers abducted on Bonny, Port waterway. Now moving on, traders in Jos, the Plateau State capital, have voiced their reactions to the federal government's directive urging them to reduce market prices. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has issued a 1-month moratorium for traders and other market stakeholders to bring down the cost of goods. Ado visited Kaswandare, a section of Yankwali market, to gather the traders' perspective on this development. The report.
The relentless rise in the prices of goods and services in Nigeria has become a major concern, with citizens continually expressing their frustration. In response, the newly appointed Executive Vice Chairman of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, Mr. Tunji Bello, announced on Friday that the Commission will begin enforcing price reductions once the government's deadline expires. Meanwhile, traders at the Kaswandere market have shared their reactions to the moratorium requiring them to lower prices.
I don't know how the government will go about it. I don't know how it will happen, because you cannot go and buy your goods with your own personal money and come back to your shop to sell it, and the government will say sell it this amount, because we are buying goods from the manufacturers, and the manufacturers are the ones selling for us at their own amount. So we can't say it will happen.
Some traders say they are not responsible of the hike in prices of commodities in the market.
Issue of the price that people are complaining, that's the traders that's making the price to shoot up, or the retailers, because I see it in most of the newspapers as of yesterday. But I want to be clear that the fault is not from the wholesalers or the retailers. The main problem, I can say, we the retailers, we are even selling cheaper than the companies.
As of today, many people are buying things at higher price. So how can you expect them to sell it lower than the price they bought it? So it cannot be possible. The only option is for government to review their policy and checkmate it very well and see where is the problem, from where the problem is coming.
We are not the one that inputting the price. We are buying this car from company. All these cars we sell, we buy them, we sell them. And then before we fix the price, till we see the price of the company, till we put our price.
The traders, however, said for the price to go down, government must take proactive measures to turn the economy around.
So the only thing I can advise the government is to go back to drawing board and see how they can assist through the manufacturers, because they can go to industry now and discuss with the manufacturers, explain things for them. They can do something. I know they can do something, but the government have to insert some money or some incentives to them so that they can be able to do that. We are talking about tax. The government can remove some taxes for them. If they remove taxes for them, at least with that tax, they can be able to subsidize their goods.
Instead of government to come to the markets and harass marketers to reduce the price of their goods, I think it will be better to review their policy, most especially in tariff plan and all these exchange rates and so on, because that's the only thing that will make the goods to go down, the price of the goods to go down.
Although the government assures Nigerians that things will improve, the public remains eager to see when goods and services will finally become affordable for the masses. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And now to business. Statistics released by the Central Bank of Nigeria have revealed that Nigeria's letter of credit payments dropped by 57% in the first 7 months of 2024. According to the CBN's weekly international payment data published on its website, the country's letter of credit payments dropped to $391.91 million from $912.35 million within the same period in 2023. In the period under review, the country's LCS payments shed about $520.44 million. An analysis of the CBN data showed that the highest LC payments this year were recorded in February at $102.59 million, followed by July at $79.65 million and $58.33 million in January. In March, LCS payments stood at $43.53 million compared to $296 million in the same month in 2023, rose to $54.2 million in April 2024 and dropped to $21.48 million in May before rising to $32.26 million in June. A statement signed by the bank's director in charge of financial markets, Omolara Duke, disclosed that of the total sale, $67.5 million was sold to 27 dealers, while the sum of $2.5 million was bought from one authorized dealer on July 10, 2024. A letter of credit is a mode of payment used for the importation of visible goods. Now away from Nigeria, a nationwide strike in Israel aimed at disrupting major sectors of the economy in an effort to pressure the government to secure the release of hostages held by Hamas began on Monday. But a top labor court quickly ordered it to end, citing its politically motivated nature. The general strike on Monday morning brought tens of thousands to the streets, but was ignored in some areas, underscoring profound political divisions in the country. The strike disrupted transport and medical services in several Israeli districts, with many shops and businesses closed after the head of the Histadrut union, which represented hundreds of thousands of workers, called for a general stoppage. The recovery of the 6 hostages who were shot dead between 48 to 72 hours before being found by Israeli forces, according to the health ministry, triggered a wave of grief and fury in Israel, prompting at least 500,000 people to take to the streets in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv on Sunday. The demonstrators are demanding Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reach a ceasefire agreement with Palestinian militant group Hamas to bring the remaining hostages home. And in sport, interim manager Augustin Eguavon has selected Enugu Rangers head coach Fidelis Ilechukwu and Daniel Ogumodede of Remo Stars to assist him plot the downfall of the Cheetahs of Benin Republic and the Amavubi of Rwanda in the Super Eagles 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifying match this month. Ilechukwu led the Flying Antelopes to triumph in Nigeria's elite division last season, with Ogumodede's Remo Stars in second place. They will be joined in Uyo by Thomas Zorek, a fitness trainer from Slovenia, goalkeeper trainer Olatunji Baruwa, and match analyst Eboborishe Uwajemore. Players and officials of the three-time African champions are expected in Uyo on Monday to kick off preparations for Saturday clashes with the Cheetahs at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium from 5 p.m. The team will depart for Kigali on Sunday for Tuesday's matchday 2 clash with Amavubi Bees of Rwanda at the Amoro Stadium starting from 2 p.m. Nigerian time. With that, we've come to the end of news updates here on Trust Television. Do well to follow us across all our social media platforms for more news, more programs, and more documentaries. My name is Lilian Ogazi. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.